Hello, hello. Pamela here with Passionate About Scrapbooking. I'm trying something new today. I'm trying to go live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Not totally sure how that's going to work. All right, so I see myself on, there we go. So give me a minute. To see if I'm live or not. All right, looks like there's a delay on YouTube. First time I've ever gone live on YouTube. So now let me check my Stampin' Up. Yeah, my Facebook page is live. Sweet. Okay, so say hello if you're hopping on. This was totally unannounced, and I just wanted to test out the options for going live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. And to do so, I wanted to share how to create this fun 2-4-6-8 accordion fold card. I have a tutorial that I'm working on. I almost have it ready. So I will add that in the description once it's complete. And then in the future, I'll have those tutorials available at the time that I do the live. So I hope that works out well. But this is the card that I'll be creating today. I'll just be doing it in some different colors using the same collection, which this one is To Market Sweet Collection, using the Market Goodness stamp set. So the way this one works, it's got a lot of beautiful detail on the front of the card. I'll move it over here so you can see it a little bit better. And then it has a flap right there. So flap A is what I'm calling it, with a nice little sentiment inside called Bursting with Happiness. And then flap B opens up so that you have a place to put your message. So this is all done with one sheet of DSP. I've cut it a little bit different for this one because the background paper on the pretty floral paper wasn't what I wanted to use, and I'll share that in a minute. So I'm going to set this one aside and we'll get started creating. Let me look and see if there's comments. Say hello if you're watching. Okay, looks like, yeah. So I'm new to the going live on YouTube. Just thought I would give it a try and see what happens. All right, so let's get started. So I have everything pre-cut. I will be using the Market Goodness photopolymer stamp set along with the Stylish Shapes dies. And then ink pads are Pumpkin Pie and Garden Green. Everything's pre-cut here, and then these are the transparent adhesive back dots, and then I have a little thing of linen thread here. So I'll set some of this stuff aside that I don't need right at the moment and show y'all how to put this together. I think I might can push all this up out of the way over here and I'll have enough room. So I have all my pieces pre-cut. The tutorial will give you the dimensions for all of that. First things first, I want to share how to cut the paper over here, or score it. We'll score it first. All right, so I have my close to my heart trimmer that they released after the closure. I guess that was something that was coming, they were planning on bringing in for the new catalog in the summer, but since that didn't happen, they went ahead and gave us the opportunity to purchase them, and it actually is exactly like the Stampin' Up paper trimmer, so it may be a little while before I get the Stampin' Up one, which is exactly like this, it's just in gray. So I'm getting familiar with this one. All right, so this is my piece of DSP. It is measured at, I do have some measurements already, at 5¼ by 12 inches. So it's 5¼ by 12. And we're going to turn it this way into the paper trimmer. The reason I wasn't crazy about the background for this card, so I'm doing I cut a few extra pieces over here to coordinate with these pretty pumpkin pie flowers and garden green leaves. All right, so this is called a 2, 4, 6, 8 accordion fold. So that makes it really simple to remember. Okay, this is my cutting blade down here, so I'm gonna leave that right there. This is my scoring blade. So I'm gonna score at 2. You don't need to press too hard when scoring the DSP. Then I'm gonna score at 4. So if you press too hard, you'll cut right through the paper. Okay, and then I'll do 6. And then I've got to open up my arm here. Give me a second. There we go. And then we will score at 8. All right, and that should be all we need. I don't think we'll need the paper trimmer again. So I'll put that out of the way. All right, so I've got my scoring from here. There's the 8, 6, 4, and 2. I want this piece right here to be the base of the card. So I'm gonna fold in this way. And if you wanna burnish your paper, you can with a bone folder. And then I'm gonna go back this way. So this is the accordion part of it. So we're just creating that accordion. And if you need to push it back there a little bit, sometimes it doesn't, it's showing a little bit right there. And then fold this one. All right, and I'll burnish that too. All right, so you end up with this kind of a fold, okay? And then say hello if you're watching. I would love to know where you're viewing from and who's on. I'm actually live, and let me know if you're on Facebook or YouTube, because that'll kind of help me out as well, since this is my first time going live on YouTube. So I'm going live in 2 places at once. Okay, so this is the 2, 4, 6, 8 accordion fun fold card. All right, so there's our pieces right here. Now, find my adhesive. Oh, and I wanted to share this cute little container that I got online that holds all my basic tools. The Country Hive, I think, thecountryhive.com. Check that out. I'll double check and leave a link later in the description. So I've got my Stampin' Seal. So you can, of course, leave the card opening like that, but if you want to make it more like a book fold, kind of you're opening the flaps like that, then that means you're going to need to put some adhesive on this front 2-inch. Get my seal going. There we go. Still learning to use all these different supplies. Okay. Everything's a little bit, there's a learning curve in all of it, I guess. All right, so there's one flap. And then to keep this one closed, so that was the 2-inch. And then this one, this would be the 6-inch piece, I guess, between the 6 and the 8. The 4 and the 6, actually. All right, so we're gonna put some adhesive right here. And then we're going to press that down real good. And then we should have, see how it's closed now? Ta-da! Okay, now we need our 4¼ by 5½ piece. This is just a single sheet of paper, and it will be our card base. So we're going to end up adhering this onto here. So let's do some adhesive on there. And then we will center that right there on that piece. Okay, so we have the basis of our card now. All right, now we're going to do some embellishing with, oh, let me see. Right now I can put this piece on. If you liked the piece of paper that was on the back of it, you could cut 1/2 inch off this edge right here before adhering it down, and it'd give you that look. But you can also just cut a 1/2 inch piece from another coordinating cards pattern paper and adhere it right there. So it just gives it some texture right there. Okay, this piece I'll save. I can go ahead and put this other, these two pieces were 1/2 inch by 5 1/4 inch. And then we'll go about right here, about 1/2 inch from the score line right there. Okay, so it's hiding up underneath there. All right, now I think what I want to do, I'm going to do this when I'm ready to embellish. I want to take my 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 piece and show you how I cut the frames using the stylish shapes. I already pre-cut them because I'm still learning how to use my stamp and emboss and cut. I got the cute little blue one, but I'm struggling with it a little bit still, so I didn't want to struggle on camera. So this is a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 piece. This is the largest of the square dies, and you would just tape it down right there in the center. And right now I'm thinking you have to do it one at a time. I'm trying to figure out how I can do it with both of them in at the same time, but I couldn't get it to work. So first you would cut this large piece, and you would get this piece right here from cutting it, okay? And then when you have the piece inside, would be this piece right here. You would center this one, sorry, I'm having troubles. You would center that one in that piece from inside here onto that piece, and then you'll get this piece and this piece. Hope that makes sense. Excuse me. So you get all 3 of these pieces out of this one 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And I'm going to set that aside. So I've got my pieces ready here. And then we will do, let's see here. This is going to be the front of the card. And we'll be putting this piece and this piece on here with some stamping, and we're going to cut some things out here. So I'm going to kind of move this around so that we can work on what we need to. All right, and then this piece is going to layer on top of there. But before I do that though, I think I want to put this piece on here, so kind of like that. And then this piece here. So we can go ahead and assemble some of this, and then we'll do our stamping. This is a 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 square on a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 inch square. So we'll set that aside. Then we're gonna have to stamp on here. We can go ahead and adhere this piece, and I'm going to use, I think, if I can find it, some liquid glue. This is the liquid glue from the green container, the Tombow, and I just have put it in a different container that I saw another demonstrator using, and it's been staying. As long as I keep that little piece on the top, it's working really well. Okay, I'm just going to center that up here at the top so that, move it around a little bit. This is nice about the liquid glue, is that you have a little wiggle room there. All right, so that piece goes there. I've got to stamp on this piece first, and then we can go ahead and put this together. And I'll do that just with some Stampin' Seal. I'm going to position it about 1/2 inch up, just like that. And then I'll do the liquid glue again, since it's a thin frame. And this will adhere right over top because they're both 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. I'm going to pick it up and just make sure my edges are all flush. All right, so I'll be stamping on this piece and this piece before we assemble anything else. We'll put those up here. All right, so I want to do one of the sentiments in garden green and the other one in pumpkin pie. Keep that handy in case I need that again. All right, blocks. And now I need my Market Goodness stamp set. We're just using the stamps in here, so I'm going to use first the Thanks a Bunch. We'll use that on the 2x2 block. And I'm just going to do a tone on tone. So this one, actually, I'm thinking I'm going to do stamp this piece first. That'll be tone on tone with that. So garden green. And just stamp it up here in the corner, upper right hand corner, just like that. Okay. And so let me close that up. Then I can use the stamp pumpkin pie. I want this one, Bursting with Happiness. So it's a long stamp, but I'm going to show you how you can make 2 lines out of it. I'm going to bring in my chamois here. And then, all right, so this particular one, I can easily just ink up Happiness or Bursting with, and so I'll do one at a time. I'm going to start with the Bursting with, and I just want to make sure that I don't have any ink over here on the word Happiness. And then I'll just center this. So again, tone on tone right here. Then you want to make sure that you clean it really good. And then I can usually like to flip it over, and then I can just ink up the word Happiness. All right, got to get it a little bit closer. My chair keeps falling kind of down. All right, and again, I'm just centering it underneath Bursting with Happiness. So then I get that cute little look. All right, just clean these and I'll put them away here in a little bit. So that's all the stamping that we have to do. Of course, you can use any collection, any stamps you want to create this type of card. So I need to do a little bit of fussy cutting, and wouldn't you know it, I can't find my scissors. Hi, Bevan.
Hi.
Alrighty. Give me 1 second. There they are. Sure didn't want to have to use my big scissors. Alright, so out of this pattern paper right here, I will cut out this basket. So I'm just going to fussy cut that out fairly quickly. It's a pretty easy piece to fussy cut. And what's neat about this pattern paper is you could actually fussy cut out all the bags and baskets out of here and use them in all different ways. This is the second time I think I've used this basket on a card recently. And then the sample that I shared earlier right here has, I'll put that up here in the corner so you can see it, has the cute bag that coordinated with the pattern, the DSP. Oops, I'll trim that up a little bit more right there. All right, so I've got that piece. It's gonna sit over here a little bit. And then I wanted to attempt, I'm gonna try to cut out just fairly quickly. I kind of guesstimated what I would need for this bouquet. I just wanted these, I'm not sure what color that is. It's a peach color. And then some of these pumpkin pie. You can hear the dog. She's probably going to scratch the door because she wants to go outside. So this is our first day of summer vacation. Kids got out of school yesterday. So I'm going to have to remind Kyle that he has to take her out on a regular basis because he forgets and just goes to his room. Alright, so I may have to do a little bit more fussy cutting just to make it fit in the basket. Again, not super intricate. Just a minute, lady. Do you have any demanding pets? Pretty sure I'm gonna have to go like right in here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut. All right, so this is kind of my thought process behind it. I wanted them just to come out of here a little bit. So you'll see I'll have to cut just a little bit more. I didn't want really to show any of the purple. So maybe this right down here is what I'll do, right? There. May have to finagle it a little bit, but I think that may work right there just fine. Okay, so all good. Give me 1 second. I'll let the dog outside. And I'm gonna have to work on my chair so it doesn't keep going short. It just keeps going shorter and shorter and shorter. All right, so I think I have all my pieces now. We can start assembly. All right, so I'm gonna start with the front, okay? And since we're opening the flap like that, we don't want any adhesive on this portion right here, just about halfway over to this side. So when I flip it over, it's going to be right here. So I'll use some Stampin' Seal, thinking that would probably be plenty right there. And then I'm going to just center it. So I'll overlap that green a little bit and give about the same width right there. So that should do good, okay? Then this one I wanted to pop up. So I have some dimensionals here. We'll put a few on here. I love this little caddy that I have. I'm still working on how I have everything set out around my space so it's within arm's length and on the right side and so forth. Okay, so this one I want to line up right in the center there. So it just gives it a little bit of dimension. See that right there? Okay. And then from here we can put these pieces on here. It's going to have to go a little bit lower down here, I think. So I think I'm going to put some dimensionals on my basket and place it where I want it first. Well, I say that. Actually, I think I'm going to put one dimensional over here. Then I think the rest is going to be on the piece up here. So really, because I want to make sure that I can get it around the Thanks a Bunch message. And this will be like right here. I think that'll work perfect. Pull the backing off that. Dimensional. So I can put that right there. This is gonna need some dimensionals on the bottom portion. So I can't wait till I get really comfortable with the Stampin' Up! Supplies, and I'm just whipping through these projects like so many of the other demonstrators are. All right, so there, we can go right here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and decorate the front since we're here. This is my linen thread. Just gonna create a little bow. I grabbed about 12 inches, may not need that much exactly, but I always like to have a little bit more, but not enough. All right, so there's our little bow. Trim the tail a little bit. Then let's use some glue dots. Gonna stick that on the glue dot and then grab my tweezers and I can pinch it and pull it off there. Okay? And then you can just stick it right there in the center, just like that. And your tails can go, you can pull them down or just leave them kind of opposite like that if you want. Okay. And let's do, I got my new, I don't even remember what the tool is called, but we're gonna try it. Actually, I'm supposed to use this side, the little putty end, right here, to pull off. I'm gonna do the green. There we go. How fun. I love it. Okay. That made it really easy. I usually use my tweezers or scissors. That's working really, really well. All right, so there's the card front. Isn't that pretty? That would just be pretty on its own without all the fun fold stuff, but since we got it, and I'm trying to be good about, let's put our stuff back where it's supposed to go. If my scissors had been in the right place, that would have been great earlier. Okay, so the front's done. Now we can flip over to flap A. So there's the flap right there. This one we can adhere. We want to make sure that it's not out here. We're going to make sure it's in. So again, I'm going to put some adhesive just on this one side. actually, I can kind of line it up right here and bring it over. Should be right where I want it. Pretty close. Straighten it up a little bit, make sure, yep, that'll work. And just make sure it's on there well. So flap 1, flap 2, and then the inside. And you want to keep these flush. Don't need any dimensionals. And again, right here, I'm going to line it up, kind of hold it in place. And go down. It should be pretty straight right there. All right, and that's it. That's our 2, 4, 6, 8 accordion fun fold card using To Market Sweet Collection. Then put your sentiment in there, and I have a stamp that is coming in the mail soon that I can place on the back of there. All right, so I thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, let me know. I will be sharing a tutorial in the description soon. In the future, I will have those prepared ahead of time, but I wasn't sure. I'm still working on the process. So again, there's 2 cards using the To Market. There's the inside of this one as well. It's pretty much duplicated to the one I just created. You could use any paper, any stamps you want, decorate the front how you want. So again, thanks for joining me, and let me know what you think. If you'd like to see more tutorials like this, I will be doing more scrapbooking probably than card making in the future, but I'm just having tons of fun with making all these fun cards. And they inspire me to, on a little smaller scale, to inspire me for creating my scrapbook pages. So I look forward to doing that soon. Thanks again. If you want to order these products, I will list them in the description, and the link is right up there, passionateaboutscrapbooking.stampinup.net. So again, y'all have a great day. Thank you.